Welcome to the Mind Body Abundance Show. The Mind Body Abundance community, a vibrant and exhilarating cornerstone of your daily routine. We invite you to embark on a transformative journey with us as we collectively strive to discover the best versions of ourselves through inspiration, play, and the power of community.
Play, yay! In our community, we celebrate the intricate connection between mind and body, recognizing the profound impact they have on one another. We firmly believe that achieving true abundance begins with nurturing a harmonious balance between these two aspects of our being. With this guiding principle, we embark on a quest for holistic growth and fulfillment.
Inspiration lies at the heart of our community. Together, we cultivate an environment where ideas are shared, creativity flourishes, and dreams are ignited. Whether it's through motivational stories, insightful discussions, or uplifting quotes, we constantly fuel our spirits with the positivity needed to overcome obstacles and embrace opportunities.
So if you're seeking a dynamic and uplifting cornerstone to your daily life, we extend a warm invitation to join us in the Mind Body Abundance community. Together, we'll embrace the magic of transformation, harness the power of play, and support one another on our journey towards a life filled with abundance, fulfillment, and a deep connection to the best version of ourselves. Let's thrive together.
Yes.
Yeah, thriving.
So Charlene, you've been super busy with cooking and programs. Tell me more.
Yes, I want to share this story. So, as most of you know, I came here to visit in December, took a leap from Knoxville, Tennessee, and just moved. But half of my stuff's still in Knoxville. So the universe said, it's time to go get your stuff. So I'm thinking, okay, opportunity presented itself for my sister's friend and my sister to come to bring a truck and a trailer, and then within the month it all dissipated. And so I'm getting these guided visions of what needs to happen.
Yeah.
So the first thing I heard was get there and go to your storage unit. And as soon as I did, it was like, like so overwhelmed. But then I started seeing all these things parting to one side. So everything to the left I placed on Facebook Marketplace with a note that said, all or nothing, here's the price. And everything to the right I knew was staying because I could see where everything was going here. And so I did it. I got a total scammer. I heard he was a scammer. And I said, okay, I trust, show me in the next 3 to 4 hours if this is not real. And so a person who owned a restaurant equipment store pops up and wants everything. And so I politely messaged the scammer back. I got shame on you. I knew it was not real. And so I kept moving forward. So from a 10 by 15, there was one 10 by 5 space open on the 3rd floor. I'm on the 2nd floor. I spent 3.5 hours in the dentist chair Monday morning, went to the space, met them. While they're moving out, I'm moving to the 3rd floor. Everything I touched showed me where it belonged. It was like Tetris. And the last 5 objects, which are like 6 foot tall, industrial, another story for another time, had a space. And I rolled the door down without any resistance. And it was like, okay, I'm not done here yet. So then it turns out one of my best friends there took over the big holistic grocery store, and I can connect with him now to get products there, hence the tour. So coming back here, I brought everything I could fit in my car. Everything I needed was shown to me. And here I am.
That is powerful. So you still ended up with things in Knoxville.
Yeah.
So you still have a reason to be called back there for
yeah,
something.
and I've already been shown like
What that reason is. I see it. I see it. Goosebumps.
reasons. Because this man helped me in so many ways. His name's Dan Woodby. And after my dad passed, I went to him and said, if I ever do get married, you're walking me down the aisle. Like, we're that close. And so corporate had closed in a really bad way. It was an Earth Fare grocery store that was everywhere, and they sold twice and then got run into the ground. Employees showed up for work with a note from the Wall Street Journal that they were closing. And so everything got clearanced out. So the vendors don't trust them reopening. And this man in Asheville who owns like half of Asheville, North Carolina, was like, I miss it. I'm going to buy it and open it. So they headhunt Dan, and he's already up like 20,000 in sales from 3 years of
Unbelievable.
just amazing. Like how when you trust, everything connects. It's all about knowing the abundance is within you and being aware of everything that you come into like everything every day that you come into contact with is just this magical ability to connect, trust, keep it moving, and now your story unfolds in just magical ways. So yeah.
Unbelievable. That is beautiful.
Believable.
It's real.
Believable.
It's real.
Yeah, it's like I'm sitting here right now. It's real.
Yeah.
Wow.
So-
Well, I'm so grateful that you shared that. That's.
Sure.
And Kim, I heard you had a moment in Vegas. One of your fans met you. Tell me more about that.
It's kind of a thing. So I've spent the last 7 days in Las Vegas planning a conference for one of my clients. And I guess I'll kind of say Stedman Graham, you may have heard of him before, was absolutely one of the most beautiful people I've ever met in my life. Shout out to Stedman. He was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, he was a speaker at our conference. We'll cut it down. And he had been surprised by somebody named Oprah Winfrey, came into the audience and came to support her man Stedman while he was giving a presentation. She has never done this in their careers together. They are very separate individuals. His business is his business, her stuff is her stuff. But it was an absolute beautiful moment. And it was not a chance encounter. I actually got to have a short conversation with her. I spent much more time with him, but a lot of celebrity encounters. But yes, I have a picture with Oprah Winfrey and Stedman Graham. Not a branded moment. This was all very organic, happened the way that it happened. I was shocked. He was shocked. And I was like, you had no idea she was coming? He said, no clue. She's never done this before. And all of the times I get up and he speaks in front of crowds all the time, he's, I'm still speechless about it, actually. Absolutely speechless about that entire moment. It was a 3-day conference. I was in Vegas for 7 days. It's still a whirlwind. I'm still processing everything. So I'm really excited to kind of center it all and figure out where this is all going to go from there. Because it all happened for a reason. This did not. Right? This did not. We're going to talk about abundance. We talk a lot about abundance, and right now I have an abundance of emotions and thoughts going through. Where do I take all these things that just happened to me over these past 7 days? Because I didn't have time to process it. I'm taking it all in. I'm gonna take some time and just write down my thoughts and see where I go from there. I'm gonna let my thoughts take me where they need to go.
Amazing.
Yeah, unbelievable, but it happened.
Unbelievable.
But it happened.
I believe it.
So, So abundance. Lisa, you just took on a new role. Tell us a little bit about your new role. How does it help the world?
Yeah, so in addition to my resilience work, so this fell in my laps when we talk about like trust and abundance. So just kind of a wild connect, but very cool, is a couple of days before this job, which I wasn't looking for, fell into my lap. I had done some manifesting with our friend Sunny, and a couple of days later, this popped into my world, and I wasn't seeking it. I didn't apply, and I got it. And I am the new executive director for Pets Helping People. We are a locally based nonprofit organization that does training and certification for therapy dogs and their handlers so that they can go out into our community and really do great things. So working with senior facilities and schools and hospitals and different areas where we can spread love and joy through that canine connection.
That's a beautiful, beautiful job. I didn't even call that a job.
It's a joy of being. Of course.
Yes. Oh my God.
Don't make me word more you.
Sorry, I love your word wars. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I love your word wars. Always have, always will.
It's funny, last time I saw you here, we were talking about you adopting a dog potentially.
Yeah.
That's like
yeah.
way past the manifestation.
So just manifesting all kinds of great stuff.
Wow.
And it's just, and what I love is this role is part-time, so I can still do resiliency work, and to be able to bring in anyone that knows me, knows how much I love animals, and I've always wanted to be able to do something in the community with it, never even knew this place existed. So now I get to go out and be, really a beacon, sharing their stories so that we can get more folks in the program and continue to make a difference. Yeah.
Bringing a smile and a sense of joy. You put a dog on someone's lap and you can just watch them calm. They may be lonely, especially in like a senior living type thing, they could be so lonely, and just even a 10-minute snuggle with a pup could be the change of someone's world. I love that.
Yeah, thanks. So
And you're the perfect person to do it.
Yeah. So bringing abundance through our animal community to our people community. So
beautiful things happening on this little panel today. I love it. So the first Saturday of every month, you can join us for the much anticipated Holistic Living Expo in Wauwatosa, right here. You can dive into a world of holistic growth and well-being, discover country's most gifted psychics and mediums, and delve into the finest in alternative health, wellness resources, and groundbreaking products.
Engage in enlightening sessions and presentations led by renowned psychics, holistic experts, and top-tier practitioners. Bring a friend along and immerse yourself in the enlightening and entertaining weekend at Mind Body Abundance. Don't miss this. I'm here because John Taylor brought me here to Wisconsin. So the last expo was hands down amazing. Like, not a ton of people because it's new, but the right people, which is all you need.
That was when I met you.
It was when I met you.
Yes.
And you became addicted to stupid good food.
I am addicted.
So I'm going to be bringing the food, new food. I'm dropping 3 new flavors of Hoofle Sammy's and pizza, or what I call Azip, which is pizza backward. It's like the antithesis. And then I'm also going to be talking about Wish Maps, which is a program I'm doing at Illuminate, about you have this other reality, this dream life. How do we bring that to life and dispel who you're not and get rid of what you don't believe?
Look at how she eyeballs me with that. You see, she did that intentionally.
Yeah,
she did that intentionally. I know it.
It's like, Kim, are you having a good day today? So yeah, just very led to what people are looking for when they hit my booth, and just handle it all.
I love that. Yeah. Bringing all of the stupid good food to Wisconsin. We are lucky to have you.
Oh, thanks.
Super lucky to have you.
Yeah, I think it's a place where the abundant nature of what we get from food, and I talk to people about the optimal balance. There is no good or bad. If we sit in neutrality and go, my body didn't respond well to that, it's not optimal. Even my food, if people don't respond to it, I'm not gonna, I'm not here to push food on people. It's just about finding that balance, and here's a good place to start. So reconnecting the brain and gut allows you to then get rid of triggers that cause you to make emotional food choices. And once you're aware of that, awareness is key. Awareness is everything. Lead you right back to your truth, and then you have a decision to make. A quote came to me a long time ago. You have to know yourself well enough to know when to give yourself a choice and when to eliminate all options. And when someone else tells you to eliminate all options, that's when that fight starts within, and it's really sitting on the fence without any emotion and going, I just really need to break contracts, and I need to get real with myself. And if I want change to happen, I have to be in that truth.
She's saying all the words for me right now. You just don't know. She knows she's doing it too. She knows she's doing it. She absolutely knows she's doing it.
It's amazing. Amazing. Our first guest is Andrea Scott Brown. Andrea is the founder and creator of the Audacious Path, the Money Course, Personal Power Formula, 7 Steps to Lasting Change, and mom to 2 amazing humans.
Andrea's coaching, mentoring, and programs help develop a strong financial foundation, the courage to move forward, and the clarity to see through to its creation. The true, authentic expression is uncovered. Welcome to the show, Andrea.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good, so good to have you.
Yeah. So what do you have in store for us today?
Well, today I'm really excited to share with you the path I've identified that really allows you to consciously move through change. It manifests the things and experiences you want in your life, similar to what you were talking about earlier, and ultimately live really the life of your dreams. And it's the audacious path. That's what I call it. It's the place that you get to explore life and really live fully. And I'd love to explore this with you today.
Aw, that's awesome.
So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I
Nuggets. Right.
A little bit about me. So I work with leaders who want to break through to the next level of their life. It's even if they've been stuck, even if they wonder, is this all there is? You know, and you're getting that place where like, is this it? It's not. Really. This is the place for more. This is the place to explore. Didn't mean to rhyme there. But many opportunities are revealed everywhere. It's exciting, and it's an exciting place to be, to really find what it is that you really want to show, how you want to express in this world. And I love learning. So about me, I have an MBA. I'm a certified coach. I have a master's in metaphysics. I am a certified infinite possibilities trainer. And those are the things that I get to do because, or that I've done because I love learning. It's all about how do I live my audacious path, and how do I help others do that. So all of those pieces kind of come together for me to be able to express that in the world. So through all of my work, I'm really dedicated to shifting the experience of change. That's the culmination of this work. Because change can be scary and unknown to people. But when you consciously move through it, that's when you get to create the life of your dreams. And that's what my work's all about. So I want to really help people access the inner and the outer resources so they bring it all together and to live the life that they truly desire, regardless of the external circumstances or experiences. Yeah.
That's freaking beautiful. Yeah, you and I are on an audacious path together.
Yes.
So how do you work with clients, and what's the impact on their lives look like? What you've seen so far?
Sure. So I discovered this path about 18 years ago. And when I work with clients, I feel like it's their journey to becoming who they want to be. And so
Would you say it's like a journey back to the soul? Like really letting those pieces that maybe they're not addressing because of the environmental things that take over their minds, like getting still enough to go, oh, wow, I'm so powerful. Like, how did I miss this all this time?
And that's the inner part. That's the inner resources where, yes, understanding that soul piece, understanding who they really, really, truly are, that's the impact that they can then bring out into the world. Absolutely. You know, I have a client that I've worked with who was in a horrible marriage. She was $40,000, I believe, dollars in debt. She went through this transition through coaching where we moved from this relationship. She ended the relationship. She was stuck with a house that she couldn't afford. She went through the process of releasing that. She got out of debt. She found a fantastic home, perfect for her and her two kids. She was able to release the debt, completely out of debt except for her mortgage that was perfect for her, rather than she had kept the house initially after the divorce and it just didn't serve her. She wasn't able to financially keep that sustainable. So with a reasonable mortgage, with in a neighborhood she absolutely loved, in a community that supported her, she was able to thrive. And again, completely out of debt except for the mortgage. She was 6 months of emergency fund developed. And through this, so that's like the outer resources. Those are the money, the financial piece, which I have a money course and I help people through that. But it's really about today, I want to talk to you about this audacious path and how to consciously move through these particular changes. So I'm excited.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. So can you tell us about those steps a little bit more?
I'm happy to.
Yeah.
So I call it the personal power formula, 7 steps to lasting change. And the 7 steps to lasting change are very conscious way that you described earlier about your ability to manifest things into your life. Or, you've all talked about how does stuff seemingly happen, but we have a way to consciously move through these steps. It's called notice. And you, Charlene, talked about earlier this observation and how important that is. And that's the first step, to notice, to desire, to know what it is that you want, to claim it, to understand it. What does it look like, feel like, taste like? What are all the senses, and what is it that you truly desire? To forgive, to release those things that are not working, to be able to remove the blocks that are in the way, and then to act. So in the middle of the 7 steps, we're now acting, we're taking steps. What are those steps to be able to move forward? And then to be in the attitude of gratitude, to really enjoy what is already in our lives, to allow new things to come in, to go through the phone book to go to the internet and say, oh, what's this thing that shows up first? So allow the things to come to you. And then the last step, 7, is to be in this new state. And I feel as it's a spiral to move forward in a upward trajectory. And then you get to this new level to incorporate all of those things into your life. How do you be this new person? So notice, desire, forgive, act, thank, allow, be. Those are the 7 steps that you can consciously move through to become the new you.
Love that.
People are lucky to have you around. If they don't have you around in their life, how can they find you?
You can go to the places that are on the web on the screen right now, and go to audaciouspath.com. and find me all over the web as Andrea Scott Brown.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Absolutely wonderful to have you with us. Any parting thoughts, Charlene or Lisa?
Oh, will you come Saturday?
I will. I'll be there.
That's awesome. Yay.
Amazing. I saw Andrea at the expo last February when I met you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Our paths have crossed so
That's
many
where we met you.
times. Like,
Yes.
I think a collaboration might be in order.
I think so. I love it.
You
Andrea,
guys,
thank
Will you work for food?
I do like food.
I believe actually Andrea is the one that said to me, you have to go try this stuff. I'm almost certain it was you that was, you have to go try this. This is perfect for what you're going through.
I still have some of those little spoons too.
People love those little spoons. I'm like, do not put that in your dishwasher and it will have a life as long as you do.
This is a very special segment featuring Bela, who is an artist, writer, and chai tea maker. Welcome to the show, Bela.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely.
Yay, we're so excited to have you. Did I mention I love chai tea? So excited to learn about you. And, also it looks like we're going to be making chai from scratch. And so curious, can you tell a little bit about your story, like where you learned to make it and all that good stuff?
Yeah, of course. My parents were both born and raised in India. But I was born in Africa. So they had an arranged marriage. They immigrated almost immediately to Africa, and my mom was already pregnant with me. And then we immigrated from Africa to London to the States. So I didn't grow up in my culture, but I grew up with my mom making chai. So there are very few moments in my life that sort of connected me viscerally back to my culture, and chai was one of them. And then, but she never taught us how to make it. I think because from a young age, she was in the kitchen, like in India, that's what girls, especially back then. And I think she didn't want that for us. And so when I was 30, I'd been practicing law for 6 years, and I decided to quit my job right before I was going to become partner and take 6 months and go to India and live there. And so it was my way of figuring out my roots for myself, typical immigrant story of who am I? What is this all about, being in this brown body and living not from where I was from? And then that's where I learned how to make chai. I watched my relative, like I lived with my family and watched them. You drink chai in the morning, you drink it in the afternoon, like it's a ritual. And so I wanted to bring it back, and then I just started making chai for my kids. So yeah, that's how it all started.
Teaching your children how to make it?
They know how to make it. My daughter makes it for me, and she makes it really, really, I mean, it's great. Yeah, they remember it. Like they would sit on the counters and we would make chai. It's like a ritual that we do together. So yeah.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
now can I ask, because I hear you referring to it as simply chai. Now I've said chai tea. Can you help me to understand that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, chai in Hindi means tea. So it is redundant to say chai tea. And but in the Western world, we don't know that.
Yeah.
Nobody explains it to us. I think people think it's a spice. They think it's a flavor.
Yeah.
But actually, if you go anywhere in the East, whether it's India, Turkey, it doesn't matter. If you order chai, you're ordering tea. And then it's just a matter, all those different cultures make it differently, slightly differently. But yeah, so in India, you would say, I want chai. Or just having chai, which is just tea.
So if you stop at a coffee shop or a tea shop, I'm assuming that's how it would be in India, everywhere, would the chai differ in flavors depending upon where you go because you're ordering tea?
Yeah, but when you go to India and you order chai, you're just getting chai. I mean, it's essentially the same.
Yeah.
There are things that might be slightly different, but in India, they're called chai wallas. Walla is like a man, but you'll go to chai stands. And they have them on the street. So like in India, if you're in a village, they even bring chai to all the workers on the streets because it's such a ritual. So you go to hotels, you go to the streets, like you can get chai like pretty much anywhere. It is just part of the culture. It's like the fabric of India. It's like one of those very, I don't know, it's like it just kind of, you can't not have chai. I mean, now there's lots of other things. People drink coffee and all kinds of things. But no, you would just get chai. And each chai walla, each person, each family makes it the way they make it.
That's beautiful to learn. Thank you for
Yeah.
enlightening us with that. That was beautiful to learn.
I think I need to go to India.
Yeah, definitely. I've learned a little about the Indian culture. I trained a Bollywood actress when I lived in Miami.
Oh my God.
And hands down, I was an extra in the movie. I went to the exit. Like her mom came into town, they went clubbing, and I kind of became her bodyguard. So when the whole Indian population in Miami figured out where she was staying, I would have to sneak her in.
Wow.
So she wouldn't be mobbed in the lobby, and
That's
she went on to
amazing.
do amazing things. Like she's amazing.
Yeah, Bollywood is amazing. India, what I always say to people is it'll rock all of your senses all at once. It is just full of all the beauty and the ugly and all the color, and it's vibrant, and you go there and you feel like you've gone back to the beginning of humanity places. And I think you just have to be open to it. It's not easy sometimes, but it's rich in all ways, and you can't help but go there and not. If you're open to it, I think be just completely like changed somehow. Yeah. Yeah.
So your story is so eclectic. Like you're not just chai.
No.
So you're a visual artist, a writer. Tell me more about, did all that surface with your travels, and was it just you being aware and paying attention? There was so much more.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of a lot like what you are all talking about. It's being open, taking chances. I think for me, like when I was practicing law, I knew what I wanted to do, but also I knew I was missing this big piece. I went to India for that 6 months, and I had these very lofty goals. I was going to reconnect with my roots, learn the language, but I also wanted to learn how to do henna, because as we only went back to India very, very few times, and I loved the art of henna, like viscerally had a connection to it. Most people love henna, but I feel like it was in my soul, like in my body. And when I went for that 6 months, my cousin happened to be taking henna. Henna, because of Western influences, had kind of become something that middle class India was doing, because otherwise it was like artisans would come and do it for weddings. So my cousin was taking the class, and we would just sit for hours, and she'd teach me how to mix the paste and how to make the cones and how to apply it. And I was so disconnected from my roots that I would apply it, and my grandma would walk by, my Nani ji, and in Hindi she would say how good my henna was. But I just thought all Indian people were good at henna, you know, because I had been so disconnected. So anyway, fast forward, I got back to the States. Henna's messy, it takes time, you have to dry, it has to dry. So I started doodling designs. And the first design I doodled, because I didn't think I was an artist, I thought would look cool on a t-shirt. And my partner at that time owned bars and restaurants, and so he was printing shirts all the time. So I was like, hey babe, don't you think this would look cool on a shirt? And he was like, yeah. And then I went to his basement screen printer, and he was like, these are the shirts that are hot right now. So I printed a bunch of shirts with 2 different designs, and then I carried them around for a minute, didn't know what to do with them. And then I walked into a store, and I bought a really expensive pair of boots, like the most expensive pair of boots I ever had, and it emboldened me to ask them what I should do with these shirts. Brought them in a cardboard box, and they were like, well, we'll buy them. How much do you want? And I was like, I don't know. And then they gave me a 101 in retail. And then I started doing art on t-shirts and creating a clothing line that was inspired by designs, inspired by henna. And that's what started my artist life. And then the writing came because like one of the designs was the Om, which if you know, like in spirituality and yoga, it's a very auspicious symbol, but people don't know what it means. And so I would start, and I would borrow from all of our different cultures. So I'd draw the sun or the tree, and I'd want to write stories about what it means in the Eastern culture as well as in the West. And so my writing started.
Amazing. I love how you had this awareness that it all could piece together. That it's how a stupid good world. That's my blueprint.
Yeah.
And it's so in alignment, and so many people aren't on that path, and so they're like, you just need to focus on one thing. And so when those people come into my life, I thank them, and I just know that there's no depth of the vision there. I just need to keep it moving, and that team pops up. More and more people are coming on this path. So yeah, it's amazing. Love it.
Yeah, I think it's being open. I don't know if I was consciously aware all the time, right? Like I think sometimes if you're open, it's that open. Yeah, and then it pieces itself together a little bit.
Very interesting the way this whole thing is piecing together. I just had 2 days ago a very long conversation with somebody about my interest in the Indian culture, especially henna, and how beautiful it is, and the process and the patience you have to have for waiting, not only when they're putting it on, but for it to dry, and the wedding process, and everything is so different than the Western culture, and I'm so intrigued by it. So
We should go to my studio, and I'll do henna for you.
thank you for sharing that to me. I absolutely will. So speaking of one of your arts, we are gonna make some chai. Can you show us the process?
Yeah, I can. So what I did is we started it going, and it's a little darker than you normally would have because it's been boiling for like 10 minutes, which you wouldn't normally do. But I'm gonna just show you. So chai can be made different ways. The way I make chai is with fresh ginger, whole cardamom pods. So I don't know if you can see. So you can get cardamom pods online. You can get them at the Indian grocery store. Often people get cardamom and they get it already ground. I don't like the ground cardamom because I feel like then it overwhelms the ginger. So for me, my people who know me think of my chai as ginger forward. So the fun thing about chai is you get to experiment, and you get to sort of figure out what you like about it. Some people use pre-made like powder that's like chai masala. It's a spice. I like the fresh stuff. So I cut up some ginger already, but you really just want to get like a whole, like just ginger. You don't have to peel it. You just cut it any which way you want. So like I cut up little slices, and then you just want a mortar and pestle. You can also use, like if you don't have a mortar and pestle, you can get creative. You can use the cheese grater. You can use like anything that's going to grate it. And this is going to be a lot, but I'm not going to do all of it, but you just pound it. And then really you don't have to do much. And then you'll just put in and so in here I put 2 cups of water. So what I do is if I'm making 3 cups of chai for each of you, I would have done 3 cups of water. And so you just fill up the mug you're going to use, and you pour the water in. Then you cut up your ginger, and you add it. And I do it to just how it looks, because now I've gotten good at it. So if people want to reach out to me and like really measure it out, I did that. I have done that before, so I can give people actual measurements. But you want to kind of like fill it up with ginger, and don't be shy. And again, don't be afraid to experiment, because you might make it too gingery one day, but then the next day you'll make it not gingery enough, and then you'll finally get your balance. And then for every cup of water or mug, I do 4 whole cardamom pods. So there's 2 cups in here, so I would add 4. And again, this is just how I came to this, to do it. And then you want to do, if you have 2 cups of water, and I use Lipton tea bags, it's what my mom used. You can use any black tea, but like anything, each black tea has its own flavor. So again, whatever black tea you use, it might have a slight flavor to it, and so that's going to impact the flavor of your chai. But this just reminds me of my mom, so I always use Lipton, and it's just straight up black Lipton tea. You can use decaffeinated tea bags if you don't want all the caffeine, so it's not going to affect the flavor. So then you put in, if you're making 2 cups of chai, you want to put in 3 tea bags, just to make it a little stronger. You could just do 1, I guess, 1 each, but it's up to you. So this is what, there would be a lot more ginger in here, but this is what you start with. Then you put it on a stove and you let it boil, and then this is already pretty much boiling, so it might boil a little bit more, but all you do is you add milk to taste, or to color. So if you can see here, like I like this color. You can go a little bit lighter, but it's kind of like a light milky, like milk chocolate color. And then what you're going to want to do, which we won't have time to do, as we're talking, it might reboil, but you want to let it boil again. And what that does is it just kind of steeps the flavor in. So let it reboil, but it'll go fast on a stove. So don't step away, because it will overflow quickly. So it doesn't go fast on a hot plate, but it will go fast on a stove. So let it reboil, and then immediately turn it off. And then what you're going to want to do is, I'll demonstrate with the knot, just in case we get this to boil, then you guys can actually taste it, because it's better if it boils. But then what you do, this is like Indian, the way we do it in India, but you will probably have a pot with a handle, and then you're just going to want to strain it with your strainer. So that's kind of how you would do it. And I'm hoping that by the time we finish talking, this will boil. And yeah,
I think we're on a good roll.
You guys can taste it.
I hope so.
And then afterwards, 2 things I'll say is that, as we were talking about it earlier, if you're lactose intolerant or you can't do dairy, you can substitute the milk. It doesn't taste good without milk. Like I wouldn't drink it that way, but I would get some sort of substitute. The one thing you want to be careful of is like their different substitutes have different flavors. So that flavor will impact the chai. So you want to sort of play around with it to see what flavor you like, because it'll impact the sweetness and the flavor of the chai. And then the last thing, that once we pour it in the mugs, then you will add sugar to taste. And people are always really shy. We're like in a culture where sugar is a no-no, but I believe in the real stuff. So and I believe every once in a while you should treat yourself. And chai just tastes better with the sugar. And especially with mine, if you do the ginger forward, it helps because ginger can get spicy. Mm-hmm. So the sugar will help to balance out the spice of the ginger. And again, you get to experiment and see how sugary you want it. If you're going to use the sugar substitute, those end up being sweeter than regular sugar generally. So again, that it's going to affect the flavor, and it won't be like traditional chai. It'll be chai, but it just won't have that. It's going to impact the flavor of the ginger and the cardamom mixing together. So that's it. That's pretty much all it is. It takes about 10 minutes, if that, to make. It's super easy.
10 minutes to homemade chai.
Yeah, it's so fast and so easy.
It's too, though. And telling people to play, because that's play with your food is my whole
because you'll know what you like, and then you get to serve it the way that you like it. And then my favorite thing with chai is buttered toast. Butter your toast luxuriously and use salted butter, and then dip it in the chai, and it's like,
my.
That's what my kids grew up
on.
on.
My chai.
Yeah.
Oh my chai.
So it's just a little thing. I love buttered toast with chai. It takes me home, so it's like comfort food.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I hope we're able to
Yeah, we will. Well, it's gonna go.
try it at
Oh, and
some
it's
point.
steaming.
I'm excited. And while we're waiting, I'm curious. I know you had heard you'd done some work in Minneapolis, and I'm curious if you could tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I did a mural in Minneapolis recently, a 65-foot wide by 10-foot mural, brick, and it was inspired by a lot of my art. I mean, I've done since then. My art has grown from specifically like design inspired by the patterns of henna to charcoal, like figure drawing and that kind of work. But the mural is 65 feet wide, and it's 3 different panels of, I called it the Bleeding Heart mural. And so it's inspired by the Bleeding Heart flower because it's in Uptown, and I wanted to pay some respect and honor what happened with George Floyd and a few years ago, because that area really got impacted. But I also wanted it to be whimsical and joyful, and I wanted it to be something that people in the community could look at. The business owners that asked me to do it, they wanted to create, because it's a community, they use the alley and they go through it. It's mixed residential. So yeah, I'd never done a mural before outdoors, and it was it was just taking a chance and hoping that I could pull it off. And I love it. And it's part of a collection that I'm working on in my studio called the Bittersweet Collection, which is really the exploration of Mother Nature and how she teaches us about sort of the dance between sorrow and beauty, and how that's a constant cycle.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I love that. I'm so excited about everything you've been talking about. It's like, I want to try the chai tea. I want to see the mural. I want to get a henna. It's like,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
up, right?
Absolutely. I'm right there with you. This whole day is blowing me away.
Yeah.
So, absolutely.
It's all ritual to you, though. Like,
Yeah.
as it surfaces, tell me how it all connects with the art and the chai. And
Yeah, I think on an individual level, it's my way of belonging. I didn't grow up belonging, and I think it's something I still struggle with, to try to sort out where I belong. And so each part it takes me back to a place that I think is deeply home. So chai is about, like, it's both chai and henna are the visceral manifestations of a culture that I didn't get to grow up in a family I didn't get to grow up and be a part of in the way that I would have. But then the art and everything that's come from that since is also, growing up in the West, I had opportunities I wouldn't have had. And I have had an ability to, like, I've had a way that I could access all these different parts of myself. So accessibility is a big thing for me, and being a woman, like empowering women. So henna is also a thing I always remember, like, it's the one time women get to sit around, and instead of being the ones serving, they're actually getting the henna. And so for me, it connects to my passions about women and about empowering women. And so then the storytelling is just about teaching from a bigger, more collective community space, taking like the ritual of, like, because I'm a journaler too, and that's where my writing starts. But then, like, being able to share chai with you all and teach, because we don't know enough about each other, and we make a lot of assumptions. And people don't often know what I am, because I can pass as many different cultures, and then people don't know how to ask me. And so chai was a way, when I started doing it, of being able, if somebody says, well, you make chai, then it's such an easy way for me to say, well, my parents are Indian. But otherwise, people don't know how to ask. And so it's become really difficult in our culture to sort of break those barriers. So all of it, I think the connection is, it's about belonging, both for me on an individual level, but also I think from a more global collective spirit of, like, if I can open myself up in these ways, then maybe other people can open themselves up to me, and we can just learn more about each other. And it breaks down some barriers, hopefully. It's what it all is, like, kind of how it all came together.
I think it's absolutely beautiful how you're relating your art, your chai, your writing, your previous career, but it's all become a form of self-expression. What do you have coming up in the works that you're expressing to the world?
Well, I'm working on this Bittersweet collection. I just had a show close at the St. Kate. So I have all this work, and, being an artist is a tricky thing. You're just constantly applying, and there's a lot of rejection involved. So a lot of it for me is I just got a part-time writing job with an organization telling their client stories, which has been a really awesome thing for me to be able to interview other people and tell their stories. So yeah, I think right now I'm pretty open. I'm working on these collections, and I'm in that stage of going inwards to create, and then looking to see where I want to apply and what I want to do next. I've been through a lot of big changes in my life in the last 6 months. So yeah, so trying to take a minute to sort of, and also create. So I just got a commission piece that I'll work on, and just had an open studio. I'm going to do another one before in the next few months. And then I'm going to go to India in November. So I'm going to try to, I have a big project that I've been trying to do for pretty much since the start of going to India that long ago. So I'm hoping to maybe make some headway on it.
I wish you the absolute best of luck with that. I think that just sounds like beautiful, and you're just bringing more and more into yourself and being able to be who you want to be, not what the world's telling you to be, which I think is wonderful. I congratulate you for that.
And don't tell us where your studio is, because we will all be at your front door when you come.
That's right. We're all lined up, ready to buy all your art and drink all your chai.
Yeah.
And get henna.
No, I would love that. I would love for everybody to come to my studio. You can reach out to me. But yeah, it's great. I mean, as artists, we can get too caught up in our own, we can get in our heads and in our hearts and spend too much time in that. So it's really nice to share it with the world, and especially have other people's energy in my studio helps make.
Amazing. Are we ready to try the chai?
Yeah.
Are we ready to try the chai?
I think we can do it.
The moment of
I'm so excited.
Yeah, make sure I don't. Okay, so hopefully I won't spell, so we'll see how it goes.
There's no cameras over here to spell on, so it's fine.
This is always my favorite part because it's like
so perfect.
yeah, and then it's probably going to be strong because it's been cooking for like 30 minutes. So
You're a pro.
Let's do this. Add a little. So then I'm going to let you guys add your own sugar. You can't have any, right, because of the milk. So then
Thank you.
Here is the sugar. So don't be shy. I would put at least one of those.
One? Okay.
And then
It seems like so much sugar for me, but I'm going for it. No, I'm listening to her. She knows.
Super strong. But just go for it. And then I would add more sugar.
Really?
You want more?
Yeah.
Okay.
But taste it first because I don't want it to get too sweet for
Okay.
you.
We'll let you start
But
first.
people are, in this culture, we've
Smells
bastardized it.
amazing.
It's so unfortunate. That and salt, I'm a salt addict too. So, but I believe in it. Like I believe my body craves it.
I use organic coconut sugar.
smell
Mhm.
Oh.
I smell the ginger.
Does
Oh,
it have
gosh.
a flavor though?
Love it.
Yeah.
Coconut sugar? So
No.
She's
It
right. A
does
little
that.
more sugar.
It's
I
like
should
a,
try
But
that.
not
it's like
tons,
a
though.
nutty brown sugar.
Yeah, not tons though. I mean, I'm still gonna go for it because.
And then I found a really good source
Yes,
for a
well,
pure monk
Oh
fruit.
my gosh,
Oh.
it's
Because I
absolutely
think a lot of my
delicious.
food goes to diabetics. Yeah, so there's
That'd be.
Bella, I think I'm going to join in on your everyday ritual because this is absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely fabulous. Hot, but
It's
absolutely
super-
fabulous.
and Is it too strong with the ginger?
We just did an extra spoon
sugar to
sugar.
I love
Can you
ginger
ever have
though.
too much ginger?
Yeah.
I'm
You
a ginger
can, but
aholic.
it does get spicy.
Oh no, I know.
Yeah. So like I know.
Oh, that's perfect.
So if that's why the sugar is really, I'm glad you guys did that because it'll embolden other people to go for it.
I got to try it both
It's
ways though. I
wonderful.
tried it without too much. Yes. And the ginger. Ginger is my jam. So I'm super happy.
I'm so glad you
Super
did.
happy.
Love it.
This has been a great day. Remember to like and subscribe. The act of connecting really goes a long way to benefit the show and helps us reach more people.
And we have such amazing guests on this show. This Saturday is going to be full of amazing people. So come to the expo and check out all the expos. They're only going to get better November and December.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So wonderful to get to meet you and get to learn so much about you and to get to try this amazing chai.
Excellent. Thank you also to Andrea and to Bella for joining us today. And I had a very fun time on my first Mind Body Abundance show. So thank you guys for having me.
Thank you
Yes,
for being
thanks for
here.
coming.
Absolutely.
Wonderful
Thanks for
energy.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
So fun.
Yeah.